to play 134 times for your country?
Nick, I'd like to have the answer to that, but I can only go to 133. He's an exceptional professional. That longevity, that capacity to stay in it when so many people are trying to displace you with the competitiveness that exists in the modern game, and to do it all in the front row is quite exceptional.
One last check on the teams. Ireland with a record breaker to come off the bench later, and so much quality dotted around this starting 15. Hooker, Ronan Kelleher back to start with Andy Farrell, making the kind of change you should have expected after Fiji. Ryan's back as well, Tygburn also. Backs-wise, recalls for Keenan, Lowe and Gibson Park. The big call, though, the retention of Sam Prendergast at fly half a week on from his first start. Well, for so many years, Joe Schmidt picked Ireland sides to play here. Now it's Australian ones. Will Skelton's headed back to the top 14. This game falls outside the test window. Frost and Williams, therefore, back in the second row together. Slipper and Tupou and McWright all recalled. There was a doubt about the fitness of Joseph Alkuso Swa'ali'i. He hurt himself, you'll remember, against Scotland, but the Wallabies' next big thing is fine. Max Jorgensen gets the call to start on the wing. And Ireland and Australia once again. The highest of takes from Nick Frost. Lolesio. And then Wilson, the captain, back to Tom Wright. We were watching a week ago, you'll have seen Australia make a very bright, physical, purposeful start against Scotland. Lots of quick ball clearances from the rucks, lots of heavy carries engaging their big ball carriers like Wilson early on. It was only later that they rather lost their way as Scotland came into it, but Australia with lots of possession here early on. Lolesio down low, but picks out Wright, and Wright says it's time for Ireland to have a go. In the form of Sam Prendergast. Over halfway goes the returning fullback Hugo Keenan. Prendergast thought about kicking, held on late-ish to engage Henshaw. Both sides with an early taster. Again, Prendergast. And then that's nicely done by Van der Fleer. Just changing the point of attack, enough to put a misstep in Australia's defensive stride. Flung out by Henshaw, where we find Bundy Aki for the first time, and Aki warming his shoulders.
No! That's on ground.
Prendergast, Joe McCarthy.
Yeah, we play on, I saw it.
Prendergast, and now he does kick, and that was a tough one for Lolesio to take.
An early indication of how both sides are going to start this game, at least. Australia trying to get wide as much as possible. The passes from the scrum half in and around the ruck, very, very long. Ireland happy to play a little bit narrower. Two pods of forwards down the middle of the field, just the wings keeping the width either side.
Matt Hansen just roaming in behind the scrum. He wants to not show his picture too early. Get into position late to make sure that the defence aren't able to number up exactly who they have. Show the picture that it's not going to actually transpire to be, to make it as difficult as possible.
Gibson Park, Aki, Prendergast opening up here. Keenan, they've managed to turn Ireland's defence, particularly with that burst from Keenan, and then he dropped it.
It's just speed, isn't it? Just speed of reaction. The green shirts react quicker to the referee's short arm penalty.
It's the quality of pass here. As soon as Sam Prendergast gets it out, it's bang out in front of Keenan, invites him to run onto it, and that's what creates the natural switch play. Keenan decides to hold on to it, but then is stripped just as he's about to go to deck. It's frustrating because a huge attacking position for Ireland. You recycle that possession, it's going to be very, very difficult to hold you out.
Likewise, Valentini, as we've already mentioned, he's upright here though, and he's being held on to by James Ryan. Valentini managed to get it to ground, and Gordon can dig again, but Wright not holding onto it for long. Lolesio. This is Len Ikitau, switching between 12 and 13 on tour, back at 12 today, and then the charge from Tupou and Valentini, and for half a second, if that pass had been more accurate, Ireland were exposed. Still might be, as Kellaway once more goes to work. A little bit too cute in the end from right, but for half a second.
We've got a TMO check for head contact, I believe.
So, Rick, you want to show me head contact on number 8 goal?
He'll be safe from certainly a red because he loses the collision. He doesn't actually make an active movement forward for the tackle. Valentini goes to him. He gets upright, but he's just trying to get his head out of the way, actually. Often if you get a timing of a tackle wrong, you stand upright to try and give yourself a little bit more room.
It's on the cusp, isn't it? Because there is head collision.
For me, it's a low level of danger and no more than a penalty. So I restarted with the game against with a penalty against number 4, Green.
And he guides Australia's arc into a 3-point lead.
Over there, the ball was out, and I agree with you. But the ball went out.
Gordon. As Swali'i chases, we know what Swali'i can do, and Henshaw did well, but it's still Australia, and they'll score here surely, right with the pass out, and Kellaway, brilliant defending from Prendergast, still the threat. Payanga Amosa. Well, for a moment it looked as if the Wallabies had to score. Somehow, Ireland got numbers back. Prendergast did his job. Gordon screaming for it, slipper.
We play. Advantage.
Australia penalty, Lolaseo, so this is free ball. Ikitau back to Lolaseo, right again, now Jorgensen! Should have scored on the right, do score on the left.
Just squeezes in, I think they'll check it, but all comes from a tactic that I think is going to be huge for Australia for the next few years, with the impact of Joseph Suali'i, the best I've seen in the air. Well, I was going to say for a long time, I can't really remember seeing many better in my life than this guy in the air. All he's got to do is pat it back to his team, gets a bit lucky with the bounce. Great tackle there from Prendergast coming across, but they don't panic, having dragged them one way. They know there's space out there. Little loop around play. Lolaseo gets it out, and Jorgensen ensures that his feet stay facing in the field as he slides over with his body towards the corner flag.
Once again thrown to Byrne at the back, Van der Fleer. And then Doris standing off in midfield just for this moment. Oh, the strength, and helps with Archie latching on as well. Ireland players with arms outstretched. Australia offside. Van der Fleer! Josh Van der Fleer for Ireland. And some much needed Irish light.
Yeah, we've seen this huge variety, this Autumn Nations series from Ireland. They've gone off the top a bit from these 5-metre lineouts. Not many sides do that. Just mixing it up, making sure the opposition defence are kept guessing. Really good carry and leg drive from Doris into midfield, and then it was just a case of holding possession.
Is a yellow card, but we set the mark for a penalty.
Josh Van der Fleer continuing his really impressive campaign. He's been outstanding the last few weeks, getting through so much of a workload.
2 to go, big minute, big moment for the Wallabies here. Can they extend that lead?
Valentini to Wilson. Creates a tasty looking blindside on this near left-hand side, but Australia, for the time being, digging to the right with Valentini. Gordon now comes to the left. Wilson, oh yes, asking a little bit too much of McWright there. Rob Valentini, by the way, 10 carries as we approach half-time. He has been busy. So's McWright, but yeah, they've got some star players, the Wallabies, in the back row, and we're seeing the best of them today.
That's a mark.
Michael Hooper retiring earlier in the year. Fraser McWright is doing as much as he can to fill that shirt. He's riding side saddle with Valentini.
Let's go, guys, please, let's go.
21 carries between the back row. Wilson's carried well as well. I think Frost has had a really bright first half for Australia.
This is a really great opportunity. Hopefully we'll get something from the scrum, but an attack here, Australia have to put a certain amount of numbers in the backfield. I look forward to the time when we can actually call a scrum play, but it actually is a great launch pad. You have to respect the 50-22. You've got to put two and a half players in the backfield. That gives you a great attacking options up front. And perfect time for Ireland to come in now. The clock's just about to turn red to get something against the run of play.
That was Finlay Bealham winning his personal battle with James Slipper that led to the penalty that's led to this line out as we head into bonus time at the end of this first half in Dublin. Ryan, Prendergast, Aki, Henshaw running hard. Tyke Bird. Gibson Park, Aki. Ireland pecking away just outside Australia's 22. This is Doris, the captain. Makes good ground. That ground has been hard to find in the first 40. Off the floor to the arms of Doris, and then McCarthy changes direction. Prendergast again. He didn't know whether he was going to kick or pass. He went for the pass in the end to Lowe, who did well to keep it alive, but in the end it's just Australian ball. And that is half-time. And Australia doing all they can to spoil the IRFU's 150th birthday celebrations. Max Jorgensen early on for the Wallabies, Josh van der Fleer for Ireland, but Noah Lolaseo has kicked his kicks. And half-time at the Aviva. Ireland 5, Australia 30. Being serenaded by Shane McGowan and the Pogues, bit of dirty old town to get us underway at the start of this second half. It's 8 years since Ireland were 8 points down at half-time. That was against the All Blacks in 2016. They lost that one. If you're wondering about the last time they won a match here in Dublin from 8 points down, 20 years ago against Argentina in 2004. So there's some work to do as Australia deserve that half-time lead, Brian.
They certainly do. And Andy Farrell isn't renowned for the hairdryer treatment, but I'd imagine he gave a version of it in the sheds.
For context,
They've had far too many handling errors and just lacked the killer punch that we associate with Ireland teams in the past number of years.
Ireland cleverly choosing to put Robbie Henshaw in the air, hoisting him up to try to beat that chase of Swatali'i, and it worked on the restart. This is Len Ikitau.
ball is there.
Do well to keep hold of that.
Frost scrum half is Jake Gordon. And their captain, Harry Wilson.
Ball is there. Use it.
For Australia, the physical challenge, I guess, of a shorter 6-day turnaround after flying across from Edinburgh. The mental challenge as well after the Grand Slam hopes went up in smoke at Murrayfield, but they aren't looking tired either physically or mentally. They were very good in that first half, and Ireland know they need to be that much better. Aki, Gibson Park, Porter. Here's Caelan Doris. Prendergast finds Lowe.
Well done, Seven. Well done.
Doris once more.
Away! Away,
Into his opposite number, Wilson.
Advantage, one in the wrong side.
And penalty goes against James Slipper, I think. So this ball that Ireland can gamble with, the gamble didn't last long.
Yeah, McWright attacks the ball, referee tells him to leave it, not because he was illegal.
You can always rely on Sexton to kick his kicks, and so too it would seem Prendergast.
Yeah, much better connection than the conversion was quite the wobbly one. Must have unnerved him a small bit, but 40 plus meters out right in front. Meant to be kicker's bread and butter, and he made it look exactly that.
8.5 minutes into the second half. Ireland 5 meters out. Byrne, Gibson Park, beyond Aki, instead to Lowe, and Henshaw held up, but Doris scores! Under the posts. And maybe this birthday party won't fall flat. Ireland level.
That's a lovely movement. First to drag all that Wallabies defence in with the narrow lines. Sualihi makes a great shot there, but all those orange gold shirts all congested around the breakdown. And Doris, having been given the space under the sticks, runs that arc perfectly into a one-on-one and clatters over the line for the score.
Tourist tips from his brother Michael, who spent some time in this city not so long ago. Ikatau. It's been a while since Australia had some ball, asked some questions, and Ireland doing what they can to make sure this latest thrust forward doesn't last long. It's an Australian
First infringement, 17.
penalty.
The ball carrier. He cannot place the ball because you continue to grab him.
I think it was Tom O'Toole
Guys,
who
option.
was picked out.
Post.
There he is.
Post called.
Holds onto it on the floor, doesn't he?
Stu.
Lolasio's penalty. Ireland's lead didn't last long, and Australia have had 3 trips to Ireland's 22, and on each visit they've come away with points. Brian O'Driscoll, 133 caps. Cian Healy, 134. Nobody has worn the jersey more now than the Dubliner.
Number, guys.
When it's under a 3-point game, but here we go.
Henderson, Josh van der Fleer, linking in, Lowe goes in. Doris engages, Ireland to the line, held up. Oh, it's Callaway underneath it. Byrne, Healy. With a clip through from Crowley. Oh, Wright couldn't take the chance. He had to run it out, but it'll be a big line out now for both sides.
Ref's not sure, sorry, the referee's assistant's not sure he wants this checking. I think Wright touches it before it goes out.
The Irish halfback pairing. 2 Munster boys have brought a really good energy, exactly as Andy Farrell would have hoped for. Good options, a little bit more direct, running with speed and creating a little bit of chaos. Good variety to their play.
So we take our time and we deliver the right decision.
So we're just checking with the TMO Eric Gozat that Wright did carry this out, and it will be an Ireland throw.
This is the angle.
It's actually on the line, I think, when he actually gathers it.
He's taking the ball
first.
He's taking the ball out. He's taking the ball out. So it's a green.
A matter of studs, a matter of millimetres. They might be big millimetres here for Ireland, taken by Henderson. The Aviva adds it raw. Advantage for Ireland. They can shove for all they're worth. No, they'll get the ball back. They've got more than that. They've got what they wanted. And Gus McCarthy living his best life. The try may be to rescue the birthday party.
Well, there's different ways to skin a cat. Sometimes you get the setup right, you take your time, you're really slow, and then almost like a scrum, you start it moving. This was a hit and rush from Ireland. Land, and as soon as they land, they started running towards the line and banked on the fact that Australia had just given away a penalty for pulling it over.
Number, skipper, 5.
3 minutes to go.
Time back on when I say time back on. Wait.
This is the game that both sides will carry into Christmas with them, into the new year with them. For Ireland, into the Six Nations with them. And at the moment, it is Ireland just. Sualihi trying to get it away quickly, too quickly. Pocketed by Ringrose.
Step back.
Healy. This is Gus McCarthy, whose try gives Ireland the lead. Keenan. Opted not to use Crowley. Doris, now Crowley. Henshaw. Hunted down by Harry Wilson. McCarthy. Crowley. Keenan. Low. This is Van der Fleer. They're working so hard defensively. You can count the gold shirts. And then Hansen to Byrne, and Keenan would have been away if Byrne could have somehow managed to clear it, but he couldn't. And Australia will have a scrum, 2 minutes to go. Not many opportunities left for them now.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Just wondered whether Ireland might just keep the ball, try and frustrate Australia into jumping out the line or trying to solve the problem, giving away a penalty.
Time off. 14
But
off.
they have one more shot.
Well, debut as a starter and the first test try at Murrayfield last weekend, although he had to wait until the 75th minute. A 79th minute try for Potter, an 80th minute try would be more than acceptable. He's on for Kellaway, who's had another impressive game.
Crouch. Boy. Set. Reset. Time off. Time off. That's a mark.
Importantly, the referee stops the clock.
Guys, watch me. Wait the ball. Not hit and chase, okay? And keep the hit. That's the only thing. I said them, not hit and change, and then stay on the hit.
Imagine
Yep.
the Wallabies wouldn't
No
want to keep
free
this in
bind, guys.
too long and
Let's
risk
go.
penalty. Drop the ball
No pre-bind.
in on the boot directly to Harry Wilson's hands.
Crouch. Ball. Stop. Keep it up. Keep it up. Ball out. No out.
Battle for the ball. Australia penalty.
Easy hand. That was for clearly hands.
Josh Van der Fleer.
It might have been Craig Casey actually who did the flip tackle, and
Clearly
then
hands by
just
6.
a little bit too much.
That's so-and-so.
Him and Van der Fleer went into the collision collectively. Not sure if we're going to get to see it from those pictures.
Well, there'll be England supporters watching this, knowing what the Wallabies are capable of, with time very nearly up, particularly when you've got willing runners like Tom Wright still around.
No hands, no Peter.
Final few seconds of the 80, crashed up by Alalatua, Lolasea, Swaliti. Still time for something magical from him at the end of the contest. Now it's Ireland defending grimly, defending winningly. That'll do it. And Ireland end their year with a win. They send Andy Farrell off to the Lions with a win. Scruffy, but just enough to see off a Wallaby side who will head into 2025 with a bagload more beans than they came into 2024. A record-breaking day, a winning day for Cian Healy. Ireland's 150th birthday party, not in the end spoilt by the Wallabies, but still so much for Australia. to take out of the last month, even out of this contest. Final score in Dublin: Ireland 22, Australia 90.